Welcome to the Bitcoin predictions for the month of June. None of this is financial or investment advice. If you're new here, I'm Jack. I'm an engineer gone crypto astrologer. On this channel, I combine technical analysis with astrology. Please be aware of the spam bots in the comments below. Ignore those. Watch this video all the way to the end to get the Bitcoin predictions at the end. Smash the like button. If we get this video to 300 likes, I'll make an XRP, Solana, and Ethereum forecast video for June. So if you want that, smash the like button. Let's take a look at some one quick previous predictions here. So this was actually my previous video. Open it up here. And let's take a look at what I was saying here. The last 24 hours, there's actually more shorting, more people shorting the market. So more people are, the bears are coming in here a little bit. But if it gets too overly, if people get too overly confident, if the bears get overly confident that we're going down, perhaps it's going to go back up and liquidate those shorts. All right, so that was just a quick little prediction from my last video there. Wasn't based on the astrology, but that was more technical analysis. So I also do technical analysis. I don't just do astrology, but that's what a lot of the people are here for on my channel. But let's take a look at what happened. So that was a little more than a day ago. So that was around right here. I was talking about how there was more and more people shorting the market when Bitcoin was around 107, 106. And I was saying those price could go back up to liquidate those shorts. And that's exactly what happened. We got this lift off here from 106.5 to about 109.8. And we're getting a little bit more momentum to the upside. It seems like, at least today, for the short term. I do think we could, dare I say, I do think we could be due for a correction. I'll explain more about why behind that. If we take a look at the liquidations again, there's still more people shorting the market. So we still could have a little bit more upside, but that's mostly, I'm thinking for the short term, but we'll have to see. All right, so now if we go back to the chart, so Bitcoin is hanging out at 109. I also look at the weekly scale. One thing that's really interesting is we've gotten, check this out, we've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks up in a row, and we're heading possibly for an 8th. Or is the 8th week going to be a week down? Because if we look historically, we haven't gotten 7 weeks in a row up since October of last year. October 2 years ago. And if we look at that, back in 2023, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks up. And I think that's the record. We certainly don't get that in a bear market. Even in the 2021 bull run, I don't think we got 8 weeks in a row up. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the second half of 2021. After COVID, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like we're at right now. And then, man, we didn't even get that on the major bull run. Starting 2021, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we got some more corrections. So it would actually be good to see some healthy correction, as that's been totally normal for Bitcoin in bull markets. And I mean, especially looking at arguably the greatest run in history here. I mean, the 2017 bull run, Bitcoin got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it did get 8. So it is possible, but it got a pretty nice healthy correction for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks after that. So that's really important to note. But then after that, people probably got a little hurt there. People who are buying up here, 2017, they might have thought like, oh, is the bull run over? And then it just keeps on going up to a mega bull run there. I mean, so in short, it's healthy, historically speaking, for Bitcoin to have corrections after it's had, 7 to 8 weeks run up. So that's one really big hint there. And RSI still maybe perhaps some more room to the upside. We'll see. But the stochastic RSI, I mean, the last time it was this high, it was up here for about 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. So far, it's been up here for a week. You know, this. What I'm saying is the stochastic RSI has been up at 100. So it could be a little longer, or perhaps I mean, it definitely could be it as well. We could be due for a momentum swing back down. Really, any time now. Could be 1 to 5 weeks. So that's important to note as well. And let's look at the last time we. You know, the last time the stochastic RSI headed down, you know, Bitcoin, the top was in, and we started to get some corrections there. So, are we due for a scenario like that? Are we done with this run up? We'll be talking more about that. We'll be diving into the astrology in this video, so stay tuned. I also love to look at the monthly chart to see where we are with the monthly close. So right now we are just hitting right about where the previous all-time high was at this level right here. We're hanging out right there. So we actually want to close above that ideally. Let's get specifically what that level is. Yeah, it's pretty much where we are right now. So it's about 109,400. Let me check the other Bitcoin chart. Yep. Yeah, about the same. So yeah, if we can close this month, we got 5 more days. If we can close it above 109,400, that would be bullish. But if not, man, oh, I could definitely see a scenario where we close below it, and it could just be another. And for the bears, it could be a triple top here. So that's a little bit concerning if we do close below that 109,400. So all eyes are going to be on the monthly close. That's actually pretty huge. But we shall see. Now I also want to look at the daily exchange volume, and last video I was talking about how we are potentially creating a higher low here, which could be really good because the previous bull run, we kept getting higher lows after higher lows after higher lows until we reached the market peak in May, right there, as you can see. And then it fell off a cliff after that. So we want to see the same thing. We want to see more higher lows, but we're seeing a little bit of weakness here. As you can see on the right, it's heading down a little bit. That's not really what we want to see. So there are definitely some signs of weakness here. But the next few days and weeks will tell, and it's particularly the monthly close is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Okay, let's return to this one. All right, let's talk about the general astrology. So June 4th, well, so what we talk about on this channel is Bitcoin astrology, and it's based on the Genesis block in 2009 when Bitcoin was born. And so I ran a birth chart for Bitcoin, but this is the general astrology, and then we'll get into the Bitcoin astrology. But June 4th, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is sextiling Venus, the planet of what we value. That's good. Positive energy. June 6th, Mars is sextiling Mercury, the planet of trading. It's positive. Really interesting. Jupiter is finally ingressing into Cancer from Gemini. And it's also going to be conjunct Mercury, the planet of trading. So perhaps it could be good for crypto. But the really interesting thing, though, is the last time Jupiter ingressed into Cancer was 2013, way back when most of us didn't even know or never even heard of Bitcoin or thought it was a very strange thing and didn't understand it. So last time in 2013, that was around the time the Bitcoin market bottomed. And then we actually got a big run. So could we be... Well, I mean, Bitcoin just surpassed the previous all-time high, so it doesn't look like we're heading towards the market bottom, but perhaps we could get a local bottom if we're still in a bull run here. Yeah, could we get another buying opportunity? June 9th, we're getting Saturn squaring Mercury, making a hard square to Mercury. So Saturn can bring contraction, so could we be getting a dump around then? It's certainly possible. June 10th, we have Neptune, the planet that can bring confusion in markets in financial astrology is squaring Mercury, the planet of trading. So markets usually don't like confusion. So June 10th is a little, a little negative there too. Could we see a dump? June 15th, Saturn, the planet that can bring contractions, is squaring Jupiter, but normally this would be a little bit bearish, but it's the third and final pass. So it happened 2 times. We had Saturn square Jupiter last year. And this is the third and final pass. And usually third and final pass can be a lot more bullish. So I'm actually leaning bullish there. But June 15th, we have Uranus squaring Mars. So tricky energy here. We're getting a lot of mixed signals. Uranus, the planet of technology and crypto, is squaring Mars. That can bring explosive moves either to the upside or the downside. So very volatile. June 19th, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is squaring Neptune. That's a wild card because in 2012 was the last time this happened, and it was actually bullish. We actually got a pump. So just more mixed signals here, guys. It's a very tricky month to predict. June 22nd, Jupiter is sextiling Mars. It's positive. June 25th, the Sun is conjunct Jupiter. Definitely leaning positive. June 26th, Uranus is sextiling Mercury, the planet of trading. And the Sun is sextiling Mars. It's positive. And June 28th, Mercury, the planet of trading, is trining Neptune. And Mercury is trining Saturn. So more positive transits at the end of June 28th. But June 29th, we have Mercury, the planet of trading, opposing Pluto. So slight negative there. But let's take a deeper look at the Bitcoin astrology. So this is what the planets, what transits they're making to the actual Bitcoin natal birth chart. So June 24th, we have Mars opposing the Bitcoin Neptune. So that's, Neptune can bring a lot of confusion. Mars can bring explosive moves either direction. So that's definitely a bit negative. There's a lot of potentially tense energy there. June 5th, Venus, the planet of what we value and money, is squaring the Bitcoin Jupiter. Slight negative there. June 7th, Venus is trining the Bitcoin Pluto. A little bit positive energy there. And Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is trining the Bitcoin Venus. That's actually very nice. June 11th. But the last time we saw Jupiter trine the Bitcoin Venus, we saw a dump in 2013. But in 2017, we saw a pump. So tricky, difficult to predict. Volatile energy here, man. I mean, June is very volatile. June 16th, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is opposing Bitcoin Pluto. This actually marked the last time we had this in 2013. The Bitcoin market low. All right, so we got a potential market low indicator there on June 16th. Really interesting. But then June 17th, Saturn is squaring the Bitcoin Pluto. Another negative. So mid-June, got some negatives. June 28th, we have Uranus trining the Bitcoin Jupiter. That's positive. But finally, then June 30th, right at the end of the month, we have Jupiter squaring the Bitcoin Moon. Now, the Bitcoin Moon can be a really sensitive area on the chart. Typically in a birth chart, the moon is really our emotions, and we can be very sensitive there. The last time the Jupiter squared the Bitcoin Moon was in 2013 and 2019, and it marked the market low, approximately, pretty close to the market low. So we have another possible market low indicator. So could we see a dump in June? All right. So now the interesting thing is that, so this is the history of Jupiter through the zodiac and how it has affected the S&P 500. So really the macro markets, and typically the S&P 500 can affect Bitcoin quite drastically. And interesting thing is when Jupiter goes into Cancer in June, around June 9th, historically, I mean, it'll be in the sign of Cancer for an entire year. But the really interesting thing is historically, the S&P 500 does not do very well. As you can see, it's actually in the red. It actually does the worst, which is going to confuse a lot of astrology enthusiasts out there because Jupiter is actually very happy in the sign of Cancer. I believe it's exalted in the sign of Cancer. But the meanings, the themes of astrology doesn't always translate and correlate exactly with the financial markets. And so just because Jupiter's happening in the sign of Cancer does not necessarily mean prices are always going to go up. And in this case, we just got to look at the data. We have to not be emotional about this. We have to just look at what the data is showing us. Data is showing us possibly over the next year. So we have an entire year. That could even mean next year, 2026. Maybe the S&P might not do so well. So really interesting data there. But then Mars, on the more positive side, Mars is still in the sign of Leo. And then I believe in July it's going to head into Virgo. But if you look historically, Bitcoin does well. It's in the positive here when it's in Leo, and then in Virgo, this light blue line here. Whoopsies, let me go back. It does even better in Virgo, so that would be heading into July and August. Bitcoin historically does well when Mars is in those signs. Now the Bitcoin season, these are the average Bitcoin returns through the months of the year. And historically, June does pretty terrible. I mean, it's slightly in the green. It's not the worst month of the year. It looks like the worst month is September, which we get to look forward to. But June historically only goes 1.38% up in price in terms of the Bitcoin averages. So June could be a little bearish. Could we see a correction? Are we due for a nice summer correction? It's certainly in the cards. Now, when could the altcoin season be? So, man, we could get an altcoin season, and a lot of that is based around really the Bitcoin dominance chart that I've been looking at for a while now on this channel. And if we go on the weekly scale, I mean, one thing is we saw from this Bitcoin peak, this recent peak here, this recent peak, we saw 1, 2, 3 down days in a row, and typically that can mark major tops. And so I'm still leaning bearish on the Bitcoin dominance, which would mean an altcoin run could be around the corner. Plus, we have 1, 2, 3 lines here that are marking this trend line that's going down. And I'm thinking, this is looking a little bit weak here, that the Bitcoin dominance could be heading back down from overbought to then eventually be oversold. And then the stochastic RSI, well, it's actually showing a little bit of life here. It's trying to get back up. That's interesting. When was the last time we had that? Well, last time we had it, it dropped down and then tried to get back up was right here, it looks like. And let's see what the Bitcoin dominance did. That was right around this area. So that was actually November 2023. Oh man, that was actually right before we got a massive altcoin run. Because I remember that pretty clearly. The altcoin run started, I believe, October. And then it continued to accelerate in December. So we are seeing something similar to that kind of price action, at least on the stochastic RSI. Well, really, the RSI peaked and then it started falling off up there. But then if we look at this, and just like kind of we're peaking out and falling off over here, where we are now, but then the stochastic RSI fell off and then tried to recover, go up right here, but then it just fell back down. And just like we're seeing right here, it's trying to recover, and could it fall back down again like we saw a couple years ago? So that's just showing possibly more indicators that an altcoin run could be around the corner. But man, it's been so incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to estimate when those altcoin runs are going to be. So a big or small altcoin season could occur in June or July. Note, and I do share in the Crypto Astro Mastermind, my private group, when the next potential buying opportunity is, and it's coming up pretty soon here. All right, and I shared that on my recent group call. All right, so if you haven't already subscribed, smash that subscribe button if you're liking this content to receive critical crypto and astrology updates. So if you're an astrology lover, you're going to love this channel. We do have a quick announcement for the Crypto Astro Mastermind. We have one more spot available. These are going pretty fast for the month of May. So you only have 5 more days to get this last spot for this month. After you sign up for the Crypto Astro Mastermind, you will receive instantly in your email inbox the amazing bonus, the Bitcoin Astrology 2025 forecast, and a month-by-month Bitcoin astrology report written by yours truly. And you'll also receive the bonus training Crypto Astrology 101. So if you want to receive the tips, the basics of crypto astrology that I've been doing to get more than 85% accurate predictions over the last couple of years, definitely sign up on the checkout page. Use the coupon code to the moon to get special prices, and dive into this soon because the prices will go up in June. So after about 5 days, the prices will start to go up. Now the moment you've been waiting for, the Bitcoin predictions. Bitcoin could have a small or big correction in June, as you saw with the astrology. We did have a lot of volatility, which means we could absolutely get a correction or two. And additionally, when you looked at the technical analysis that I reviewed earlier in this video, we got 7 weeks up. We could be due for a correction because this is one of the longest, 7 weeks up we've ever had. I mean, the only other time we had Bitcoin 7 weeks up was, I believe, a couple of years ago. And then we did have 8 weeks up, like I showed you in the past, but it's been a long time since we've had that happen. In the most bullish case, we could get 8 weeks up. We could get another week, but looks like we're definitely due for a correction here. And the Bitcoin price next leg up, I'm thinking, is likely closer to July. The fact that we're getting so much volatility, it's looking like in June. I'm thinking, perhaps things could start to move up in a bigger way in July. Share this video if you have a friend or family member or a group, maybe a Telegram group or Facebook group or whatever crypto groups you're in. Share this video so people can get these latest incredible updates so that they can prosper in this crazy volatile crypto market, and subscribe if you haven't already. And now we'll close off with a beautiful picture of me and my baby daughter. I've been taking care of her every day, and it is quite a joy, I have to tell you. She's an amazing, beautiful baby, and she holds eye contact with me. It really touches my heart. So sending lots of love to y'all out there. Send some prayers to my baby girl, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.